Hello, my happy shiny puppy. This is Melody Fletcher, and I teach the law of attraction and reality creation to highly intellectual people in a way that actually makes some freaking sense. And today I have something to celebrate. I have just started working out of my new office, which is in my home, but I redecorated it and finally brought in a whole bunch of equipment. So I have a new desk, and I have 2 screens, and I have a new handy dandy webcam, and behind me you can see a logo backdrop. So I'm finally working out of here. I'll show you the whole office in an upcoming episode, but right now it's still a little bit messy in here. So until I get it kind of cleaned up and organized, which isn't my priority right now, I'll tell you why later. This is what you'll have to do with. So the videos are going to look like this from now on. So let me know what you think. And if those of you out there who are always telling me how I can do things better, hopefully you'll be happy that I'm making more improvements, upgraded some of my equipment as well. But if you think that it could be better, please never hesitate to tell me. So today, because we are celebrating, I want to talk about celebration. Because I actually have a whole lot of things to celebrate. But it isn't just the big things, or when I finish a project, or when I get some new equipment, or when I win an award or something, or when I give a TED Talk, which was awesome. These are really celebratable things. But what about the rest of life? Because life is not made up of just big moments. Life is actually made up of tiny, tiny moments, lots and lots of small moments. It's the small moments that really fill life. And then every once in a while, we have this sort of big moment that we then deem worthy of celebration. But what if we started to celebrate everything in life? What if we started to celebrate the small things in life? Remember, when you are celebrating, you are lifting yourself up to a really high vibration, which means you're now broadcasting out this really high vibration that is going to bring to you everything that you want. In fact, when you're celebrating, you are as close as you'll ever be to the energy of who you really are, because who you really are celebrates all goddamn day long. Honestly, it is one huge party in the non-physical. And if you're ever wondering what your dead relatives are doing, they are celebrating a lot. Yeah. So this isn't about taking something that you don't feel good about and then trying to celebrate it so that you can make it feel good. Do not slap a happy face sticker on your shit sandwich and try to call it good. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about here. But there are definitely missed opportunities in everybody's life, things that you can celebrate that you may never have even noticed because they just didn't seem like that big a deal, because maybe you take them for granted, because they're part of the backdrop, the background of your life, because they've been there all along and you never really noticed them. You've never had to do without it. Yeah. So let me speak as somebody who has in her lifetime seen a tremendous amount of change. And even the things that I have grown up with, it helps to think about like what my grandparents grew up with and how they lived, and their parents grew up with and how they lived. And that really helps me to get into a place of celebration for just, for example, the technology that we have today. So I'm going to give you some examples of the things that I celebrate when I'm looking to get into a really celebratory mood, which I do often because it's really, really fun. And I can get myself worked up into a super high vibration where I'm just dancing around the room and having so much fun. One little warning, maybe don't do this right before bed, because you might not be able to sleep if you do this. You'll be so happy and excited that you won't be able to sleep. But it's a great thing to do in the morning or in the afternoon when that sort of lull kicks in and you want to just sort of kick it all up, or anytime that you're going to be doing some energy work and you want to raise your vibration beforehand. So what are some seemingly small things that I can celebrate, that I do celebrate, that help me to get into that vibration? Well, here's one. My smartphone. And I'm not trying to be cliche here, but oh my God, have you taken a look at this technology? I mean, really taken a look at this technology, really thought about it. Instead of just taking it for granted as this thing that you have in your pocket, that you have with you everywhere. We are now in a time where we can communicate with each other instantaneously anywhere in the world. I mean, I was standing in the bush, like the out in the middle of nowhere in South Africa. There's like lions and giraffes running around. There's no cell phones. My cell phone rang. I had reception out there. I was like, what? I forgot to turn it off because it didn't occur to me that I would have reception out there. Yeah. My cell phone rang while it was out there. I had cell phone reception. I had Wi-Fi. Yeah. I could take my phone and I could take a picture of that lion with my phone, and it's a pretty decent picture. And if I was a better photographer, it would have been an even better picture. Yeah. I can play music on this phone anytime. I can hook a little speaker up to it and actually have really great quality sound coming out of those speakers. I can, have my business. I can run my emails off of my smartphone. And there's so many apps that are out there. GPS. If I'm lost somewhere, I get my phone out. I have my GPS. I can drive. I can find my way home anywhere. This to me is absolutely a marvel. And it is really definitely a step towards telepathic communication and instant knowledge on everything. I mean, we are so close to that using a technology that we understand by being able to Google anything anywhere, by having the sort of, Siri, I don't know what it's called, but it's a little Googie, or the Googie, the Alexis or Alexa or whatever her name is, or the Google equivalent, and you could just say like, hey, Google, you can have that in your home, and you just speak out loud and go, look this up for me. Help me win this argument, I think that is absolutely amazing. The fact that when I fly on a plane. Now, airplane travel has been around all of my life, absolutely. And yet I still marvel at it because I choose to. When I'm sitting in a plane, I'm sitting in a chair, a relatively comfortable chair. Yeah, I mean, I know that's debatable, but if you don't compare it to sitting on a couch, but you compare it to what maybe people had to sit in, 100 years ago, it's a relatively comfortable chair for a few hours. And then I watch a movie, I read a book, I take a nap, and then I'm on the other side of the world. On the other side of the world! In a few hours! That used to take days, weeks, months. Oh my God. Yeah. The fact that I have heating and air conditioning. I kid you not. I celebrate that. Why? Because it's awesome. I mean, we had a really hot summer here. I live in Idaho now. Southern Idaho. It was really hot this summer. I turned my air conditioning on and I was so comfortable. It was absolutely amazing. Heating. Oh my God, I can turn my heater on. I can keep my entire house a wonderful temperature all day long. The technology we have that we just take for granted. I have a dishwasher that I adore. I marvel at it every day. When I run it, I put things in the dishwasher, I push the button, and everything gets just clean. My washer, my dryer. Sometimes I wash my washer and dryer and dishwasher all at the same time. They're all running at the same time. And I am doing something else. And essentially my house is being cleaned by robots. I think that is amazing. I think that's absolutely incredible. I look at everything in my life. When I get into my shower, the fact that it's such a big, spacious shower, the shampoo I use, the fact that they have these wonderful shampoos and conditioners now that smell lovely and that are wonderful for your hair, that the body wash that I use, the makeup that I put on, the utensils I use to do my hair with. Yeah, my curling iron. I mean, the fact that they've gotten so much better over the years and don't damage the hair the way they used to. Every time I plug something in, I marvel at the electricity. When I pay my electricity bill, I pay it gratefully. I pay it appreciatively. I pay it with celebration. Why? Because I am paying for running my dishwasher and my washer and my dryer and my heater and my air conditioner and my lights every day and my Netflix. Oh my God, there's something to celebrate. You can celebrate Netflix all day long. The fact that the end of commercials, woo! Oh my God, we don't have to watch commercials anymore. We could just watch whatever we want, whenever we want it. Now we're starting to demand that. We're starting to be like, oh my God, I can't handle commercials anymore. And I'm the same way. I can't handle them anymore either. But that doesn't mean that I can't celebrate the fact that I can watch shit without commercials, that I can choose whatever I want to watch, that I can marathon crap. I love this. I absolutely love it. Even when I get into my car, I think, wow, I'm sitting in my car. I am barely moving my hand. I am a little bit moving my foot, and I am speeding down the road to my destination. It is so comfortable the way that our lives are so comfortable. They're so easy. You know, particularly in countries like America, Australia, the UK, the standard of living is so, so, so high. It's filled with all these little conveniences. I mean, even just the computer that I am creating this on, the microphone that I'm speaking into, the webcam, the internet. Wow! The internet! You can talk about being able to celebrate something. Celebrate the internet. Celebrate everything. Celebrate all the little things. Celebrate the fact that you can, have food in your, I have a pantry. I have food for weeks in there. If I get stuck in a project and I can't go grocery shopping, I don't run out of food. It's all in there. It's amazing to me, just looking around my world every day, what there is to celebrate. Spend a few minutes doing what I just did and see if you are not high as a kite without drugs, kids. Because it raises your vibration so beautifully. So anyway, I hope that you really enjoyed this. And I'm going to be sharing more stuff with you to celebrate. I think next week we're going to be going down the rabbit hole, if I have the courage to publish that video, with some insights that I have just been getting about what it is that I'm really doing here. And yes, it involves you. Anyway, until next week, I will speak to you soon, and thank you for bringing your light to the world. And happy, shiny, smooshy puppy hugs. Bye.